keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the reins.
All right. Hey everybody, it's Skyee here and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. So we are back with a color along, which of course our first color along back has to be Hannah Lynn. We probably will do some other artists and coloring book color alongs in the future. We'll kind of play around with that and see, but I think for the most part I'm going to keep it mostly Hannah Lynn with just a few others in there as well. Because you guys know that I've got to get my Hannah Lynn fix. I'm addicted. I admit it. Welcome to Hannah Lynn Rehab. No, just kidding. There's no rehabbing from that. Okay, so the book that I picked was Mythical Maidens because this is definitely in my top 5 of hers because I love mythology. So this was right up my alley. There's so many beautiful pictures in here. And I picked one. Her name's Faryn. I think I'm saying that right. And she's this creature right here. As much as I love mythology, I can't remember what these guys are called. I want to say Minotaur, but I'm not sure. I get confused between the horse person and the bull person. Centaur and Minotaur, I get those ones confused. So yeah, I can't remember which one she is. Let's cheat and use Google. Okay, so she's a centaur. All right. So I absolutely love everything about this, but especially her hair. I'm not sure why, but this hairstyle is just gorgeous. And it's giving me Jasmine from Aladdin vibes. If you guys have watched that movie, you know when she's like captured by Jafar. He puts her in like that red outfit and her hair is up in that really high ponytail. I absolutely love this. So my inspiration is going to be Jasmine from Aladdin, and that's kind of how I intend on coloring her, is in those colors. But that being said, there is a background color that I want to try. This is a combination by Claudia T, and this just, oh, it's beautiful. It's calling out to me, and I want to try this background on this page, and I'm hoping it will kind of go with the Jasmine colors, but I'm not sure if it will. So I'm going to start on the background first, and then we'll kind of actually decide on the colors of her after that. So with all of that being said, let's dive on in here. We'll just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I think I actually want to start with the top maybe. And then with starting at the top, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I think it's part of the tree that kind of comes out past the leaves. Kind of looks funny. I'm not sure about that. I think I'm just going to color over it. So I might have to actually, let's bring in some black. Find something when you're not looking for it. There it is. Of course, it's the one that was upside down. Okay. Ooh, actually, before we start, I'm working on another page in this book too. So I'm going to sneak my paper from that one and put it behind this one. Okay, so I'm going to come in with the black. So I think I'm just going to bring the black in over top of this bit. I just want to get rid of it. Again, I'm pretty sure it's tree, but that seems strange to me. It might be something else, but either way, I don't really need it there. So I'm just going to get rid of it. So I'm just going to color this in solid black. And then I'm just going to bring it pretty much over top of that whole object there, cover up those lines, and then I'm going to fade it out. I'm just going to gradually start lightening up the pressure here. So kind of fade it down to there. That should be good. So let's come in with our violet. Let's actually sharpen this. I want some sharp pencils. So I'm going to bring this in over top of the black and then bring it out. Now the nice thing about this color combination is it's absolutely gorgeous, but it really doesn't use that many pencils. Let's maybe start fading this out about here. So I want to make long gradual fades because we have the space to do that. And then I'm just going to constantly go over using light little circles and just darken up where I need to make the fade really gradual, so it starts from dark and then we get some other tones in there until it fades off completely. Let's switch to our canary yellow here. I'm just going to kind of plot this out. I'm not too worried about the clouds right now, so I'm just going to kind of go over top of them. I'm going to go really lightly. I'm not even sure if the camera's going to pick this up. Actually, I think on this side here, I'm going to bring the canary yellow all the way down. And then I'm going to bring it in here a bit. I think I want kind of behind her to be where the white is from, so almost as if like the sun's setting behind her here. So of course over here would just be yellow as well, and we'll bring that kind of up to about the same spot, maybe there. Don't worry if you guys can't actually see this yet. This is more just a guideline, so we'll be going over it, don't worry. I have actually a color in between the orange. In Claudia's combination, she doesn't. I added in the neon orange because I want something a little bit lighter. So this, probably start fading it out there, and then we can have that neon orange to kind of mix our orange and our yellow into. Maybe bring a little bit of this down from the leaves of the tree here. Okay, I like that. So we should have more than enough room. So then let's switch back to our orange. And the orange and the purple are going to be the hardest to mix together because it's going to muddy up a little bit. So I'm going to work in very light layers to hopefully avoid muddying it up too much. They're going to be really hard colors to mix. And I want to say that they're opposite colors too, aren't they? No, they're close. They're pretty far on the color wheel though, so they would be pretty hard to mix. So let's just really lightly go in here. Switch back to the violet. I think I want to bring the violet out a little bit more. Again, just light layers, really soft pressure. And kind of darken up our pressure here, and then we'll fade it up. I think I might use a blender pencil to blend those two together. That way they don't get completely brown. And this one, we can just start bringing it down. and start fading it out right about here. Now I'm going to try to avoid the clouds though. And I don't want it to be too perfectly like straight across or anything, so it doesn't have to be even. It's actually better if it's not. Do the little tips of these in between these leaves here fully orange and then fade it out fairly quick. Might change it later on, we'll see. Debating whether I want a little bit of purple in on this side, but I don't think I do. I'm actually thinking I maybe should have done more purple up here, but that's okay. We will make it work. So let's switch in with our neon orange. And we'll just start out lightly with this. I'm not really sure what to expect, but we'll see. Might bring it quite a ways up over top of this orange to brighten it up. Try and go as opaque as we can with this and see what the color looks like. It's definitely a little bit splotchier than I would have liked. I don't really use the neons very often, so I'm not really sure what to expect from them. And when I do use them, it's usually not on their own. I'm usually going over other colors, just to kind of lighten them up. It's really pretty though. Okay, I'm going to gradually ease up on the pressure as we come down into where the canary yellow will be. Same here. And I'm gonna kind of try and create like a little bit of a cylindrical shape here. So that way we kind of get the impression that the sun is back there. it does brighten up that orange though, going over it with this. I think I'm just going to work in this area for now. I'm not going to touch this because I think I actually might make this a little bit darker, but we'll see. I'm not sure, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Let's go in with our canary yellow, which, oops, I think I need my pencil extender for. It's definitely a loved pencil, that's for sure. Oh no, that's why. Maybe it's not so loved. It's just crumbly. It's been a while since I've used my Prismas. The little bit of coloring I've done, I've been using my other pencils. Oh my god, this thing is just terrible. Okay, let's try a different sharpener and see if that makes a difference. Still pretty crumbly, but let's see if we can do anything with this. So it's just come in lightly at first. I'm not sure how these colors are going to react to each other. And even though they're very similar, I think we might have to work a little bit more to get a nice blend here. Let's bring this down. Okay. So I think I'm going to go in very heavy here. I'm going to bring it out a little ways and then I'm going to start to fade it out right about here. I'm going to just very lightly bring that color in, so that way it makes just a very light yellow. So we're going to bring this full color kind of up all the way here. I'm going to lighten it up as I get up to here though, because I might want to throw in some more neon orange. Let's see if we can mix these two together a little better. The nice thing about backgrounds is you don't really have to get them too perfect because they're not really your focal point. So you want them to add to the picture without taking away. So they don't have to be the most amazing part of the page unless that's what you're going for. But my goal is to usually make the main object of the page kind of the focal point, especially with Hannah's work because of course the girls are supposed to be. Just keep constantly going over until we're kind of happy with the color. Trying to get rid of a lot of these white dots without going too heavy-handed just because this pencil is pretty splotchy. I do really like that though, that's looking really good. Switch to our canary yellow. I want to bring it down a little bit more here. And then we'll just kind of lighten it up. And fade it out to right about there. I think I might very, very lightly go over these areas too. I don't want it to be like white, but I want it to be very light. So I don't even think the camera can pick that up. I just went over these little spots, the lightest that I could. lightly blend into our neon orange again. Okay, now I want it really yellow over here, so we're just going to go full opacity. And then we're going to start fading it out. So bring it out a little bit farther up here just to create that circle shape. So our circle kind of goes right around like this. Switch back to our neon orange, and we'll blend that in a little bit more and darken it up here. So maybe add a little bit of that down here if we can. And then we'll just blend back into that with the canary yellow. So maybe darken it up along here. There, I like that. And then lastly for this area, we'll just go in with our white. I'm gonna make sure the tip of mine is clean. Don't want to make that mistake. So I'm gonna go in really heavy over these areas. I'm just gonna lighten that yellow up even more. I'll give it a really whitish pastel tone. And then I'm going to continue on with that really firm pressure and blend it into all of these darker yellow areas. This top bit here is still bugging me. I'm just going to go straight up with the orange into here. And I'm going to kind of just go over the whole purple area. Because I don't feel like those blend very well together, so I'm just going to blend the orange into it, and that looks a little bit better. It's still not blended quite as well as I would like it to there, but that's okay. So then over here, let's see what happens when we go in with the violet. Maybe bring this down just a little bit in there. I'll go back with the orange. Okay, and I'm going to bring the orange down at an angle. Fading it out right about here at an angle as well. our neon orange. We'll go in over top of our normal orange and then bring this out. And same thing, I'm going to kind of blend this at an angle as well. Bring it down a little ways. And make it really solid and then fade it out. Just because this area is farther away from the sun, so it shouldn't be as bright. We'll go in with our yellow. Bring that up in there. Again, really heavy-handed here. This is pretty much just all going to be colored in opaque. And we'll go back in with the neon orange. Just kind of a medium pressure, we're going to color over that yellow. Let's do a little bit more, make it a little darker. Let's go in with the normal orange and darken up the edges a little bit here. And I'm not really sure what I want to do with the clouds. That part I couldn't really figure out. It'd be kind of nice to maybe do them purple to bring in the purple from the top, but I'm not really sure. You know what, let's try it and see. Let's go in with our black first. And we'll just start on these clouds here. So I'm just going to line the top of the clouds with the black, fade it down. Switch to our violet. I'm going to go right over top of the black with those and then fade that out. Hopefully this is the way to go. I'm a little bit uncertain about this, but I'm just going to go with my gut because it usually turns out. Notice how I say usually, not always. Worst case scenario, I paint the clouds. And then yes, as crazy as I am, I think I'm gonna go in with the orange just on the bottoms. And just lightly blend that into the purple. I actually like that. I think we might maybe underline the clouds in white. I'm actually impatient. Let's do that now. So I use my white Posca pen because I want to be able to go over the top ones here with a little bit of color to darken them up a little bit. That way the ones closest to the sun will be lighter. Was not using the right Posca pen though, I don't think. I've got like 4 of them, and some of them work better than others. Okay, so let's do the same thing on the rest of these clouds. So black at the top, fairly dark, fade it down just slightly. And then we're going to go in with our violet. Straight over top of the black. Very heavy-handed, and then fade it out very quick. And then lastly, in with our orange. Same thing, very dark, and just a quick fade into the purple. Okay, and then we'll go in with our Posca pen and just outline the bottoms. I love when Hannah draws clouds like these. There's just so much character to them, but they're so simple and beautiful. Okay, don't mean to pat myself on the back, but I'm already loving this. I do think that I just want to add a little bit more of the violet just on this side here, just along, kind of coming down this way. Fade it out just very lightly. Just kind of like that. Let's go back in with our orange and kind of blend that out. This is pretty much burnished, but it's one thing about Prismacolor, so you can always go over it a little bit more. Probably get wax bloom, I think I always do, but okay. We need some coffee. I started drinking these at work. It's so good. Okay, what are we at for time here? I'm not sure how long all of this will take. We might do just over an hour long ones. Let's see here. So I'm planning on having this one up in July. Actually, we got 5 Fridays in July, so we'll just keep it at an hour. So that means we got about 20 more minutes. Let me just figure out something we can do here. I'll be right back. Okay, let's start on her hair a little bit. So it's going to be black hair. It's going to be difficult, and hopefully we can figure it out. So I think first what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Mediterranean blue. And I'm going to just go over everything with this. So we're going to use this as a base layer. So I'm just going to very lightly and just messily. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going over it. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Is that, can't tell if this little part here is hair or skin. Let's leave it uncolored for now and see what it kind of looks like. I'm not really sure. Realizing now I missed some sky here. Let's just take a pause quick and fill that in. That's great. It's going to be mostly orange, so I'm going to start off really dark with the orange. I'm just going to fade that out just so we can add a little bit of definition to it. So we'll throw in the neon orange just at the bottom there. There we go. Okay, I'm still really not sure about that, but I think I'm just going to color that bit in his hair. Why not? let's work on these little bits here first so we can kind of see what it's going to look like, and hopefully it'll turn out. So I'm going to start in with the indigo blue. I'm just going to very lightly start in from the tops of these strands. I'm going to build up the color a little bit and then fade it out. Same down here. Oh, this is going to be mostly dark. I want to kind of darken up where it comes out from in behind her face as well, and then kind of keep the centers light if we can. Okay, let's go in with our black, if I can find it here. I'm going to start off really dark at first, and then fade it out. Not so dark here though, just because this area in behind is going to be pretty dark. So bring that down, and come around her face a little bit, fade it out. The thing with this is I don't want to make her hair look gray. So I think let's come out from the black with a little bit more blue. Just lightly kind of color it in to give it a little bit of shine. I think we might leave it like that. And then I think we'll just go over it with our blender pencil. If I can get mine to work. Lightly burnish this at first, see what it looks like. I don't want to completely flatten the paper in case I want to add some more to it. But I want to flatten it enough that I can kind of see how these colors are going to blend together. I think I like that. Let's just go in with our black a little bit and just maybe a couple streaks in across the blue so it doesn't just look completely blue. And I think that's black enough with a little bit of interest showing through to not make it like a blocky. So hopefully that will work. We'll find out on these bigger areas. But so let's start up here and we're going to follow through with those same steps. So we'll start off with our indigo blue. Again, fairly dark at the bottoms here, not completely burnishing it though. And always working in little circles. So it's going to be a little bit darker where this hair kind of tucks in behind here. Maybe add a little bit to these just longer lines here. gonna shadow them a little bit here. Okay, don't really know what to do about this top bit though, because there should definitely be a shine here for her hair, but I also don't want to make this top bit too dark. Gives us a little bit of contrast at least. Let's go in with our black now. Black hair is always intimidating. I'm like holding my breath right now and I'm not even sure why. Not breathing will not change the outcome of this. I do like it though. I think it's coming along really well. I just feel like it's too simple. But I also don't want to overcomplicate it and end up messing up either, so maybe simple is the way to go. Especially on a picture that I'm very much invested in. Okay, so I'm gonna go really, really, really dark on these ones here. And then fade them out. And then not so dark on this one here. Let's go really dark down here. We've got a visitor at the door. And judging by her breathing, it's a Miss Lilo. Let's see if I'm right. Hi, Lilo. What you doing? Took you long enough. Well, maybe she didn't want in here right away. Usually as soon as the door's closed, she wants in. Might want to go darker than that. I'm gonna definitely play it safe for the larger bits of hair because I'm not really certain about what to do with them yet. Let's go in over top of our black with our indigo blue. We're gonna use the indigo blue to darken up the black so it's really dark but not like black black, so we can still kind of see the lines underneath at least. Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. And just like before, I'm going to bring the indigo blue on its out a little, or out. I'm going to bring it out on its own a little bit and then fade it out. box. Oh, you're so cute. Say hi. Really? I love you. Hopefully you guys can hear her because she's so adorable. But she murrs really quietly. Her little gerbil sounds. I've got a whole bunch of Amazon boxes in the rooms, or in the room that I've saved for the cats. And there's like a whole bunch of big ones and then this little one, and she crawls into the little one and curls up every time. It's like her favorite, even though she barely fits. Just gonna go back in a little bit more darkness to some of these areas. I think about there is good. Let's go in with our blender. I'm gonna start with the lighter areas first. And same as last time, I'm not pushing really hard. I'm just kind of like the same as when we're trying to fade out from a color. So I'm just starting off really light and then gradually pushing a little bit harder, but not super hard because I don't want to burnish the paper. So I still want to go back in with the black, I think, and add just a little extra details. It's not super black, but it's also not gray either, so I am pretty happy with it. I like that. Switch back to black and just add very darkly, or very heavily I should say, just a couple lines going through those blue spots. Maybe I should not have started her hair. I thought her hair would only take like 20 minutes. So I'm probably going to go a little bit over because I have OCD and I can't leave her hair unfinished because I just can't. Okay, so let's do this part next. Maybe sharpen it up a little bit too. Sharper pencils are definitely easier to work with. Oh, are you hot, baby? Kind of leaving a little bit more open space on this part of her hair because I want the highlights to be a little bit bigger, I think. That way it gives her hair kind of like a poofy effect, if that make sense? Might as well work on this bit too while we're at it. I'm going to darken up these ends a little bit. Not adding any pressure, just lightly going over and trying to darken it up as much as I can without adding more to the page. Or indenting the page anymore, I should say. Okay, I like that. Let's go in with our black. And then just the same thing. We're just going to add our shadows in here. Gotta say, I'm super excited for this one and to see how it turns out. Because I can't quite picture it in my head. Like, I know how I want it to look, but I can't picture the whole thing. And it's been a while since I felt like this about a coloring page. And really, really dark on the ends here. Gotta get a good amount of dark black in there so we can tell that her hair is black. Not blue. Black with a blue tone. Let's maybe darken up some of these lines here. This one here, so I can make this look like one big poof. I like that. Okay. I'm going to darken up the edges up here as well. Okay, I'll switch back to our blue. And then same thing, I'm going to go over the black with our blue. And then fade it out. I'm just going to lightly go over the highlights just to add enough color that when we burnish it, it drags it out a little bit. So that's the other thing. I want there to be highlights, but I don't want them to be too light either. They've got to be fairly dark. When I flipped through this book, this is actually one of my favorite pages. I was torn between this one and the little deer girl. The fawn, I think, is what they would be called. Not sure. It's basically the same idea, just with a deer. She's super cute, but this one just won out because the hair just reminded me of Jasmine, and I just instantly knew what I wanted to do with the page for the most part. And then everything else should be fairly easy because it's just natural stuff. So it's like pretty obvious if we're going to color it normally. Then trees are green and, you know, grass is green, dirt is brown. The hills I'm a little bit nervous about though. I don't know whether to do them as like sand hills or like grassy hills. There's like no texture to it whatsoever. So I'm not really sure what to do there. But we're actually not doing too bad for time either. We're almost done her hair. So yeah, the hills I might leave for a while until I can figure out what to do with them. I think I added enough black, but I don't think we really need to go in with any more. So let's just go ahead and burnish. Might be too blue actually. So I might have to go back in with the black, but we'll see what it looks like. haven't colored like this in a while though. My arm is on fire right now. Okay, actually I like that. I wish I would have done the same up here. It's still not too late to, but I'm actually really liking that extra little bit of blue in there. So let's go up here and just add a little bit more blue. Just kind of coming out of the shadows there. It's not going to be quite the same, but I'll add to it nonetheless. I really like that. Okay, so let's carry on. So we'll just do this can't talk. Just do this the last little bit here, and then that'll be it for part one. Just gotta shake my hand a little bit here. Okay. So blue first. So we're gonna go fairly dark all in behind here. And in behind here. We're going to add some extra shadow down in this area too. Okay, so now that we got those in there, I'm just going to darken up some of these areas a little bit. Kind of want to get the same effect that I did here, so we're going to try and mimic that. I guess we should add some blue up here too. Bring that out a bit. Okay. Some of these, I need to make the blue a little bit longer in. But for now, let's go in with our black to kind of see what we can do here. So I'm going to go a little bit lighter here with the black, and then kind of darker in these areas here. Just going to work on each individual strand, and then again a little bit lighter here. Sleepyhead. Nice that Vila was just bathing herself and she's half asleep doing it, and then she just falls asleep. The heat is getting to them, I think. It's getting really warm here. I'm going to bring the black up farther in some of these areas because I don't want to have huge highlights. Otherwise, I'm worried it might look too light. Like any more blue than that, I don't think I would like. That is like the perfect amount. We're going to try and get that again, but we'll see. Bring this part up a little bit further. I'm also trying to make all these highlights kind of match, but it's a little bit difficult. Fade that out there, go a little bit darker here. Sorry, I'm not really explaining what I'm doing. I feel like I keep repeating myself since it's just kind of like the same thing everywhere. See, I had way more colors picked out. I had 30% warm gray, 10 and 20% French gray, and then also the slate gray. And then the Mediterranean blue, which we did use as our base color, but we didn't really use much of that. But I'm actually finding just these three colors, technically the two, are doing a well enough job on their own. Same thing, we're going to go over the black with our blue, bring it out, and then fade it out. I think I'm going to add a little bit more blue to the faded areas too. I'd rather it looks super blue than washed out, that's for sure. Which is kind of what happened here. This looks like a little bit washed out, and this looks way more blue. Some more in there too. Hopefully this is enough. It's looking a little bit too light for my liking though. Let's see if that changes. Try and pull as much of that black in as we can. So maybe let's start with the shadow parts and work our way into the highlights for once. I think I actually like that. I definitely do wish I'd have left a little bit more blue in here, but it still at least looks blue. It looks like it matches at least, which is nice. And that's one thing. I'm using my newer phone. It's like new last year, I guess. I can't really call it new anymore, although I never use it, so to me it's still like really new. Because the files that my old phone puts out aren't acceptable on the computer since we updated it. And I absolutely love this camera. It's amazing. It picks up literally everything, as you can see, because to my eyes right now, looking from the same view as the camera, I cannot see all of this. It actually looks really smooth, but my camera picks it up. Let's see if we can go from one camera to another camera. See if I can show you the difference here. Let's see. So yeah, huge difference. The color's not quite the same, but yeah, this one picks up every single tiny little detail. So this is actually burnished. I can hardly see any white, but my camera can. Anyways, let's zoom out here. So that is what we have so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this color along. I'm super excited to see it finished and work more on it. So I will hopefully see you guys in part 2. As always, take care. See you next time. Bye.
One